What's up, Scorpio? How y'all doing? It's time to go ahead and bust out your main monthly reading for February 2026. February 2026, man. We already ticking along. So if any of you are in need of a personal reading, all the information is in the description of this video. Hey, y'all, don't forget, tomorrow, the 24th of January, we are going to be doing another round of our $22.22 live readings right here on this channel. For my OG followers, no, it's not going to turn into a weekly thing like it was all last year. We're going back to the old school way of doing it, where we just break it out every now and then. You can pre-order on my website. They're read in the order of which they come in. The ones that come in first get read first. All right. Also, too, because a lot of people write about this, really concerned about this. You don't have to sit through the whole live stream waiting on your reading if you don't want. Like if you get called into work tomorrow, or if you have something to do, or you just want to get out and spend time with the family. It's all good. Just come back tomorrow night and go look at the playback of the video. You can come back next week if you want. Go to the comments. There will be a pinned comment at the top of the comment section where all the readings are timestamped. All right. Also, you don't have to have your name read publicly either. On my website, during checkout, there's a little place where you can put whatever name you want me to call you. That's the name I'm going to read live, and that's the name that'll be in the timestamp. So, all the information's in the description. And please read directions carefully, y'all. Please. So many people don't follow instructions. Please read directions so it doesn't turn into something more complicated than it needs to be. All right, let's jump into this. We're going to see how things are looking between the singles and your love interest. Single Scorpios and the specific person that you're interested in. How's it looking? Looking good? Anything good happening? Anything bad happening? Anything happening at all? Whoops, I dropped it. Queen of Pentacles. Uh-oh, King of Cups and Ace of Cups, both reversed. Well, it doesn't really look like a new start in love. Doesn't really look like this person's really opening up and showing any emotion. But you're being patient, waiting to see where this is going, hoping that things are going to pick up, you know, but it just still looks like communication is terrible between the two of you. And honestly, I don't know about this. So one thing that I've learned over the last 6 months or so, and I'm talking strictly numbers and statistics, 8 out of 10 general personal readings that I do regarding the current love interest. You know, the client that I'm reading for, 8 out of 10 times, has been dealing with the person longer than 6 months. They've been being breadcrumbed and strung along for longer than 6 months. That's going to kill the connection right there. Not saying it's your fault, but what potential was there when it strings along that long? 6 months later, the connection's pretty much dead. But yeah, communication's just terrible here. But you're still trying to be patient. But y'all are spinning around in a loop-de-loop, not making any forward movement here. All right. Let's see how they feel about you. Let's see this person's truest Deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Well, hang on. Could be an air sign for some of you. Ace of Swords. That's a strange card to jump out, especially because it was reversed in the last spread, you know? It's like they want to talk to get to know you. I want to talk. I want to get to know you. Well, hopefully you ain't been dealing with this person 6 months. Because after the first month, that's a bullshit excuse. Talking phase shouldn't last longer than a month. A month is plenty of time to date and talk casually before you figure out what you want to do with this, you know? Plenty of time. Plenty. That look familiar? They don't really feel much of a connection either, because like I said, with the death card I showed you in the last spread, what connection may have been there, what potential may have been there, I think it's just not really there anymore, I don't think. This lingered for too long. If you're dealing with somebody you just recently connected with, I don't know if this is for you. Honestly, this feels like something that's been stringing on for way too long. 9 times out of 10, when somebody's stringing you along, well, fuck 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. When somebody's stringing you along, if they know how you feel and they're stringing you along, it's because either A, there's something that they don't want to lose access to, or B, something that they're trying to gain access to. And I think you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You ain't even got to be a goddamn birdcage scientist to figure out what that is, right? Generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, if you're a female dealing with a male, it's sex. If you're a male dealing with a female, it's money. Most of the time. There's exceptions to everything, but generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, that's the way it usually goes, right? So, yeah. I don't know. That was a confusing one. But again, hey, one thing I always try to send you on your way with: don't ever deal with confusion. If this is the last video of mine you ever watch, if there's one thing you take away from me, never put up with confusion. Don't put up with confusion. That's the one energy that should be entirely absent between you and the person that you're choosing to spend your life with. Think about that. I'm telling you. All right, well, let's get the advice. Karmic Wheel done came out 3 times in a row. I didn't mention it the first 2 times. You might have seen me hold it up in the first spread, but Karmic Wheel. Maybe it's just time to close this cycle out. It doesn't take too long to identify a pattern. It doesn't take long to identify a pattern. Like basically, what is it that you're bringing to the table? It doesn't take long to identify that pattern. None of us are perfect. Okay, we all got things we have to work on. We all have accountability that we have to take. But it really doesn't take long. 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And if you don't even see effort being put forth regarding growth, accountability, evolution, or change, you ain't never gonna see it. 90 days. 90 days. If you don't see a shred of effort being put forth regarding growth, accountability, evolution, or change, you're never gonna see it. Never gonna see it. So I would not recommend engaging in a sex-based connection. I have to hide this because YouTube always poops their pants when I show the devil card. It doesn't go against community guidelines, but the AI is too stupid to figure that out. So I'm always having to go back and forth and appeal it, and it's always this big mess. So that's the devil card. Do not Do not allow this to just be a sexual connection. Because, like I said, man, somebody wants to be with you. They gonna be with you. That's one of my most frequently asked questions. I've been in a situationship for a year. Do they want to be with me? No. If they wanted to be with you, it wouldn't be a situationship. The reason why people stay in situationships is because there's something they don't want to lose access to. They're stringing you along just enough to get what they want out of you. But you have to see that for yourself. You have to see it. All right. Time to shift gears, and I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. So I'm looking at the person you're currently in a relationship with. But usually I split that up into two groups. I do one reading for the new relationship, and I'll do a different reading for the long-term relationship. I'm blending them together this time. So however long you've been with this person, a week, a month, a year, 5 years. Let's see how things are looking between Scorpio and the person they're currently in a relationship with. If you're in a happy, healthy relationship with no problems, go away. I don't need you here. You shouldn't even know my name. People don't know my name who are in a healthy relationship. You'd be surprised how many times I see that. It's not the most common thing in the world, but it's not uncommon either. If you're in a healthy relationship, go away, go enjoy your relationship, go have fun. Go build a happy life partnership. I'm only here to guide, help, and assist people who are having problems. Trust issues, major trust issues. You feel all alone, don't you? You feel all the fuck alone. So I got to figure out how to speak this generally. There are major trust issues here. Now, here's the tricky part. I feel like somebody suspects infidelity. And as a result of that, whoever suspects infidelity is also pondering whether or not the grass is greener on the other side somewhere. I'm not playing chicken or the egg. I don't know which one came first. Not pointing fingers, but yeah, some serious trust issues. I don't know why there are trust issues. I don't know if trust was actually betrayed or if somebody's just tripping. Honestly, you know what? This feels like trust issues on both parts, to be honest with you. I feel like you don't trust them, they don't trust you. But anyway, some of you dealing with a Virgo also have Aquarius. I don't see this coming to an end, though. Nobody's abandoning this in February. But no real progress is being made either. February looks pretty much like January did. That was a boring spread, dude. Let's see how they feel about you and what their energy looks like. Person Libra, or not Libra, Scorpio. Person Scorpio is currently in a relationship with. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Ooh, damn. Devil card again. Well, they definitely have a demon attached to them. Let's put it like that. Some of you could be dealing with someone that struggles with addiction. They don't feel the strongest connection with you anymore. And yes, they are definitely wondering if the grass is greener on the other side somewhere with the 7 of Cups there. They don't feel the strongest connection in the world. Not really. Now, okay, let me put it to you like this. If you were a personal client and you bought a general personal reading for the current relationship, One thing I've learned is that 9 times out of 10, when somebody wants me to read the person they're currently with, the main thing they're looking for is whether or not that person is being faithful. Most of the time. 9 times out of 10. If this was a personal reading, what I would tell you, and I say this a lot, this comes through a lot. I don't see the card, or the energy for that matter, that would tell me that infidelity is actively happening. But they would if they could. So they could be, damn, man, the 3 of Cups. I think they're thinking about it. They would if they could. To me, I don't know about you, but to me, that's just as bad. That's just as bad. That's why I've never been able to understand those relationships where people control their partner, you know? You ever see those? Maybe you've been friends with somebody in a relationship like that where the person they're with is always going through their phone and telling them who they can and can't talk to and where they can and can't go. And every time they leave the house, they're blowing them up. When you going to be back home? Where are you at? Who you with? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. All that control shit. I've never understood that. It's like, so let me get this straight. You believe that if you let your partner do whatever the hell they want, they would go cheat on you. That's what you believe? You can rest your head on your pillow at night and sleep peacefully all night, believing that your partner wants to cheat on you, but the only reason they don't is because you won't let it happen. The fuck do you want to be with somebody like that for? You would rather be with somebody like that than be by yourself? You got some problems in here. Fuck that shit. I couldn't imagine. I would rather die alone. We've all been there, man. We all know how that feels to be with that person. And you can feel it intuitively eating away at your gut, wondering who they're out there fucking with, what they're doing. You know, you know deep down that you can't really trust them. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. I will die alone. I will die alone before I stay in a relationship like that. Fuck that. What's the point? What's the point? You telling me that feels better than being alone? That feels better than being alone? Something's fucked up in here. Just saying. Blows my mind, man. Anyway, I'm trailing off, ain't I? Let's get the advice, I guess, man. First, hang on. I'm going to clear the air with my brand new Sage stick. Because the energy in the studio is getting a little heavy. Getting just a little bit heavy, man. All right. Now, let's get the advice for Scorpio. Advice, man. What's the advice? Advice for Scorpio. Advice for Scorpio. You're like the 5th sign I've had to say this to. Over like the last 2 months, honestly. Like every weekly, every monthly, every bonus, I have to say this to at least 4 or 5 signs. The person that you're dealing with is not mature enough to make the changes that need to be made that are required to lay a solid foundation and build a successful life partnership. People, I don't know where people get this idea that somebody's just going to show up in their life and they're going to kick their feet back and float on cloud nine for the rest of their life. No, I think Disney movies put that bullshit idea in our heads. Had to have been. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But even when you do attract your divine life partner, the person that you are on the day you meet them is not the person you gonna be 5 years down the line. Oh no. Both of you, if you want to do it right, are going to undergo massive changes. Massive. The person you're dealing with isn't mature enough to self-reflect, grow, change, and evolve. So I'm not going to tell, well, you want to know what the tarot's telling you? Can you figure out what's going on in that card? That's saying it's time to walk away. I'm not going to tell you that, though. What I will tell you is ain't nothing changing. Especially those of you who have been with this person for longer than 5 years. The overwhelming majority of change that needs to be made, that process needs to begin within the first 3 years. I'm not saying that everything has to be perfect in 5 years. I'm saying that changes are going to need to be made, period. We are all very unique humans. Even two divine life partners are going to have to make changes when they come together. That process has to be well underway in the first 3 to 4 years. Well underway, right? After 5 years, I'm not saying nothing can change. I'm not saying that it's impossible. What I'm saying is after 5 years, the likelihood that anything is going to change, if it hasn't changed, is very slim to none. Why would I change something that has been working for 5 years? I haven't had any consequences for this for 5 years. Why would I change it now? This hasn't been a problem for 5 years. Why would I change it now? It's just, if you don't want to walk away from this, that's fine. That's cool. I would recommend, though, stepping back and saying, all right, whatever, fuck it. I accept it. This is what I got, and just deal with it. There's one exception to that. If you are dealing with a person, and I feel like some of you are, when you're dealing with one of those people where everything is a fight, everything is a fight. No matter what you say, they twist it into a fight. No matter what you do, they twist it into an argument. Whatever they're complaining about today, if you fix that problem, they'll go invent something to complain about tomorrow. You fix that problem, they'll invent something that they will create a problem just to fight with you. Is there one or two of you in a relationship like that? I got news for you right now. All you can do is walk away from that if you want peace in your life. You are never going to make that person happy. Do you know why? I don't know if I told you all this. I told some sign this last week, but the reason why you are never going to make that person happy is because they don't want to be happy. You know that humans can literally become physiologically, biologically addicted to the chemicals produced by negative emotions. Oh, there is a very dark force that's been taking advantage of this for years now. What do you think's wrong with them people that just sit and watch the news and piss themselves off all day? How many people would you say right now are holding a phone? They picked up their phone and they intentionally typed in the name of somebody they hate. Purposely. They didn't just accidentally stumble across this person in their feed and just keep trying to scroll past it, but the algorithm just keeps forcing it into there, and they keep trying to scroll past it. No. They purposely, intentionally opened their phone and typed in the name of somebody that they hate. And they sit and watch this person and piss themselves off on purpose. Why would you fucking do something like that? Because they are addicted to the chemicals produced by negative emotions. This isn't Rich Lopp's little theory. This has been proven scientifically many, many, many times. And when you're in a relationship with somebody like that, boy, they're addicted, literally, not metaphorically, not rhetorically. They are literally, biologically, and physiologically addicted to negativity. They want to fight. They don't want to see eye to eye with you. They don't want to understand where you're coming from. They don't want a resolution. They don't want peace. They want to fight. They want to argue. They want to be angry. They're addicted to it. The only thing you can do is walk away from that. Trying to solve it, trying to argue with them, trying to reason with them is a waste of energy. It's going to deplete you of your energy, and it's going to energize them and build them up. It's all you're doing is feeding that demon. It lives off of that energy and depletes you of yours. Telling you. I feel like there's at least one person that needed to hear that. And I feel like that one person has been spinning in circles for years. You know you need to take that advice. All right. I've been babbling. Let's see how things are looking with the person from the past. Past person. Anything good happening between Scorpio and the person from the past? Damn, dog. Ace of Swords reversed. Don't look like it. Doesn't look like any communications happening. You're healing from this. Did you know that? Are you aware of that? Are you aware of how much healing you're doing? Now, there is still a karmic tie. There is still a karmic tie, but I think a lot of you are doing more healing than you know. Not really seeing any action happening here, man. I'm not going to lie. Not really seeing any action happening here. Doesn't really look like anybody is putting forth any effort to extinguish the flames of the tower. The tower continues to burn to the ground. Okay, well, I don't know. I still feel like there's a really strong energetic connection here. I think there's really strong feelings coming from both sides. But it just doesn't look like any action's happening. Ow, man, the ear. Yep, that means that was the message. I don't know why my guides wait until I'm live to do that. Why? It's only when I'm live. Only when I'm live reading. It hurts, dude. I hate that shit. Some of you dealing with an Aries. I have Aries again. Is that it? Just Aries? Capricorn. Devil card. All right. Well, let's see how this person feels about you. We're going in circles now. How does this person feel about Scorpio? How does this person feel about Scorpio? They've been waiting for you to let your guard down. They're scrambling and scraping, trying to find somebody new to try to get you off their mind. Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to get you off their mind. And key phrase, key word, trying. Trying to get you off their mind means you're on their mind very heavily. Very heavily. It's about all I can say about this, though, man. This is a boring ass spread, dude. Let me throw a couple of clarifiers on the table. I normally don't do that. I try not to. But that's just so fucking boring. Is that the only message we can get about the past person? Is that it? Tower. Maybe not. No communication. Yeah, see, they're hoping to get you off their mind. They're hoping to find somebody new. They feel a little bit stupid. They feel a little bit embarrassed. Okay, that's a little bit deeper. They feel a little bit embarrassed, but they're not wanting to own up to that. You know, not really. They're just trying to run from it. You know, I just want to find somebody new as quick as I can. I want to jump into a relationship with a new person so that I can get you off my mind and just push that away and pretend that it never happened. So that's about all there is to it, honestly. Whatever, man. Let's get the advice. I can't stand it when somebody is like so... What's the word? When you try to dig into somebody's energy and they're not very deep, you know? They're not very deep. It's really, really easy to overthink someone like that's motives and intentions. And it's easy to waste a lot of time seriously overthinking their intentions, giving them way more credit than they deserve. And they're just not really that fucking deep. I know how that is, man. I'm going to tell you what. All right, what's the advice? Ooh, well, I'll tell you this much. If you are wanting communication with this person, it's going to have to be you that initiates it. If you're wanting it anytime soon, they could change their mind later on down the line, but if I was you, I think I already told you all this, didn't I? I think I told you all this a week or two ago. Closure. Closure. The tricky part about closure is your intentions. Okay? You can't have any expectations. Closure is closure. It's clearing the old energy out and closing the cycle out. See, people get scared. People get scared of closure. If you have any hidden expectations of how you would want that conversation to go, or of something other than closure happening, don't do it. It's not a conversation, it's closure. But that scares people. It scares the hell out of people. Somewhere deep, deep down inside, in the deepest pit of your soul, you feel like, if I get closure, I'm closing the door on this for good and I'm never going to see this person again. What makes you think that? Why do you think that? Actually, to the contrary, because vibration is the primary law, if you did want to reconcile and reconcile successfully, you would have to close that old cycle out and clear the old energy away first. You would have to. If the two of you come back together and either one of you brings the same energy back to the table that you walked away with, it's going to loop back around and repeat the cycle. You know why? You feel like if you get closure, it's over? Because deep, 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 deep down in your soul, you know that the more healing you do, the less interested you become in revisiting something that hurt you. So that's the catch-22. If you did want to reconcile successfully, you would still have to close it out and do some healing. But the more healing you do, the less interested you are in revisiting the past. That's a catch-22. So here's what I say. Suspend your expectations. That's what I say. Suspend your expectations. I don't know what I'm going to do with this connection. All I know is I'm closing this out. Meaning, I'm letting you know for no good reason other than simply for the sake of you knowing that the air is clear on my end. Just letting you know that. I don't care how you respond. I don't care if you respond. You can respond however you want. You can say, thank you, I appreciate it, same to you. Or you can say, fuck off, eat shit, and die. I don't care. I'm letting you know that the air is clear on my end. And that's it. After I do that, I'm going to sit and let that sink in. Because that is going to change the energetic trajectory between you and this person. It's going to. Not it might, not it could. It will. But it takes a little bit for you to feel that. It takes a little bit. You know, when you very first do it, it probably feels weird and awkward and a little bit embarrassing, and you feel strange and it feels cringy and weird. You gotta push through that uncomfortable feeling. Push through it. Fucking push through it. And then wait. I don't know why. For me, every time I do this, the magic number is 8 weeks for some reason. I guess let me know if you've experienced something different. But for me, 2026 marks 1 decade that I've been on my spiritual path, my manifestation path, my healing path, my path of turning my life around, becoming the best version of myself that I can be, and manifesting my wildest dreams. 10 years this year. Actually, right around this exact time of year, the end of January, beginning of February is when I stepped off onto that path. And in the last 10 years, I have, that I can think of off the top of my head, had to reach out 6 times to various people from the past. Romance, friends, all kinds of people. And give closure. And for some reason, I don't know why, 8 weeks, 2 months. When I stop and think about it, that's when I start feeling a drastic shift between me and that person energetically. And then ask yourself what you want to do with this. Suspend your expectations. I don't know what I want to do with this. I don't know if I want to get back with you or if I want to move on from this. I don't know. We'll see. Cross that bridge when you get to it. Most of the time, most people do choose to move on from this, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Especially if they agree to do the same. If they're doing energy work, if they're releasing old energy, if they're taking accountability to grow and evolve as an individual, and the two of you can grow and evolve together, then shit, that's how reconciliation works out successfully. But that's rare, isn't it? That's rare, isn't it? How many times have you seen that happen? I've never personally witnessed it happen. I've heard stories about it, but that's why it's so hard. All right, well, I feel like those were the messages that my Scorpio family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is in the description. And don't forget, y'all, tomorrow, the 24th of January, we're doing another round of our live $22.22 live readings right here on this channel. No, it's not turning into a weekly thing like it was all last year. We do it the old school way now. We just break it out every now and then. Usually maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So you can still pre-order. You can pre-order anytime. They're read in the order of which they come in. If you're busy tomorrow, you could order one now and come back in 2 days. Once we're done with the live stream, it's going to remain on my channel permanently. And you just go to that playback of the live stream, go to the comments. There will be a pinned comment where all the readings are timestamped. You can just go straight to it if you want. Also, you don't have to have your name read publicly either. If you don't want your name and your situation being aired to the public, on my website, there's a little spot in checkout where you can type in whatever name you want me to call you. That's the name I'm going to read live, and that's the name that'll be on the timestamp in the pinned comment. So please read directions carefully. Every time we do this, we have issues with people that do not read instructions. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated, right? The instructions are pretty easy, very easy, actually. Please read directions if you want to participate, okay? Because it turns it into a big complicated mess if you don't do it right. And again, like I said, it's simple. It's not rocket science. It's very easy stuff. But just please read directions, all right? All right, y'all, I'm out of here now. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.